Hi everyone, welcome to another week in Women's Health. I just want to review what's happening this week. I've looked at your post one for those of you who have made your first post in the discussion board. I want to let you know that I've skimmed those and overall they look very good. I have up here what else is due this week. You will have your second post in the discussion board where you ask a specified number of peers questions. You don't have to answer the questions, but those are designed to help you with your reflection that's due the end of the week. You also have this checkpoint. The checkpoint is a place for me to check how you're doing on your project. This will happen twice in the semester. We'll look at that very quickly. And then your reflection for the first unit is due on Sunday. So in here we have your first posting and then the checkpoint. In the checkpoint, I ask you to, excuse me while it opens, I ask you to list APA format. Here I want you to list your sources so far that you found, and I ask you to list APA format. If you're using something other than APA, then please list the format that you're using so I can score it based on that. This is designed for me to give you feedback on the way you're citing, and it also helps me see the sources that you're using and possibly give you some suggestions. Then it tells you need to fill in at least 2 rows of this chart. I need you to tell me what you have. So you're going to list a comment that you found and the citation. So you're going to have to choose at least 2 of these items, 2 of these rows to fill out. And then there's a question, are you having difficulty finding information on any of the items listed in that chart? If you tell me you're having difficulty, I will try to move you in the right direction. Again, this is a checkpoint for me to see how you're doing, to give you feedback on the type of information you need for your final project. After you do the checkpoint, that's due, I believe, Saturday, then your final, the reflection on your unit is due Sunday. So that's what's due this week. There's not a lot of reading because you should be doing some work on this final project. I also want to point out a few things that happened. Some of the groups requested that you have a place in here to share information. So if you're in group 1, you should see group 1 here. If you're in group 3, you should see group 3 here. And if you're in group 2, you should see group 2 here. I'm in all of the groups, so I see them all. If you are missing your group over here, please let me know. And the reason why someone asked me to set this up is if you wanted to share, for example, if you wanted to share articles, you could add articles here. If you wanted to communicate with each other, you could communicate with each other through an email or possibly set up a blog. That's up to you. The other thing that I set up is in Collaborate. In Collaborate, I have now set up group rooms. So if your group wants to meet and talk about anything, or maybe only 3 or 4 of you in the group want to meet and talk about something, you go to Collaborate, and instead of going to the course room, you go to your group room. I have set up these rooms so that everybody in the room is a presenter. What that means is when you enter the room, you should be able to do things like share a screen or, let me enter. Because you are a presenter in the room, when the room opens, you should be able to do anything that I could do as an instructor. And so, for example, when you open this, you should be able to, for example, share. You could share your camera, you can share the whiteboard, you could take notes on a whiteboard. Here's the pen. You should be able to do all of this. You can type, you can discard. You can also record the session if you want, and it'll appear in your area. If you want to share files, you can do that. You can add a file for other people to look at in your group. You don't have to use this, but it makes everything in one location. So just to review what I've gone over, I put in groups into Collaborate in case you want to have live meetings there. I've put groups over here, so in case you want to communicate with each other inside Blackboard, you can. And the things that you should be working on this week are reading articles and visiting web pages for your final project. You will be completing a second post, which is a series of questions in the discussion board. You will complete the checkpoint, which is giving me some feedback on where you are in your project, and you have a reflection. I hope you're enjoying the class. When this unit ends, we're going to go into looking at 2 social determinants of health of social context and access in greater detail to see how they might relate to your final projects. Take care, and I hope you have a nice week.